Baer is painted as a conspiracy theorist. Look at the on-screen chyron. Quote, Trump voters on his unproven voter fraud claims, unquote. The implication, no evidence of voter fraud whatsoever. When Camerata asks for proof, the panelist has no answer. Or so it seems. Here's the raw audio from immediately after the edit.
I have seen busloads. I guess I can't cite the busloads that I've seen and where I've seen them and stuff, but on television I've seen it. And I mean, has anybody looked into like what James O'Keefe has done when he went undercover to these various polling places?
That was voter registration.
He went in. He basically was ready to vote as somebody else. Nobody asked for ID. I was actually a poll watcher in New Jersey, and I saw what was going on there. There were college students voting, and you use a. That's right. Or you use a provisional ballot, and it's never challenged. They just put it right through. I mean, this is common.
At the moment Baer is about to cite the evidence to support his claim, CNN ends the clip. The piece suggests that Baer did not have a legitimate answer to Camerata's question. In actuality, the answer was cut because it didn't fit their narrative. This is a textbook lie of omission.
Boy. So we got to talk about one of those right-wing conspiracy theories that Democrats swear up and down, the liberal media, they swear up and down, never happens, right? It never happens, which is voter fraud, right? According to CNN, according to the media, this is a non-issue, and that this is just a right-wing conspiracy theory about how, again, we do have voter fraud that happens in our elections and is more often than these people would like to admit.
Conservative media, they have looked everywhere. The Heritage Foundation has a fraud tracker. They've looked at elections dating back to the 1970s. That's billions of votes, not every single vote, but billions of votes. And if you looked at it, I looked at it the other day, 1,620 cases of proven fraud. Now, I think it is fair to say that this is a solution in search of a problem.
Wait a minute. How much fraud is okay? I would say zero.
It depends on if you're going to disenfranchise Americans who have the right to vote.
How much fraud is okay? What's an acceptable number?
So they tried this in Kansas, and they looked at, and they found a handful, I think less than 20.
So that's an acceptable number of fraud in your mind?
They would have, if that had gone through, they would have disenfranchised 33,000.
No one's disenfranchised.
33,000.
That's not true. Every person who's eligible to vote can register and can vote. It's the easiest country to vote in the world.
Yes, but
why is it crazy to think that you're going to have
voter? That's not because this is, and this is what drives me nuts. This is not a voter ID bill. Stop saying that. That's not true.
Are you for voter ID, though?
Voter ID, fine. We're here. This is not voter ID.
It's an 80-20 issue. It's an 80-20 issue.
Can we talk about what the issue is in the SAVE Act?
Right.
The issue is proving your citizenship. Voter ID is what they did in Indiana back in 2004, 2006. Voter ID is when you show up, you have to present an ID which proves your residency in the state. What people have done throughout the states is say that, look, if you don't have a driver's license, you can use a utility bill. Right. You can use a college bill, college ID.
That's not voter ID.
That actually is voter ID.
No, a photo ID issued by the government. You should have to have one of those.
But you know what's crazy? What we're talking about is disenfranchising.
It's not disenfranchising.
Can I finish?
Anyone can get it.
Yeah. So what typically happens is that Democrats deny. And then when they admit that, okay, yeah, fraud exists, they say, well, it's only a small amount, right? Who cares? Maybe it's like 20 votes or something that's fraudulent, right? It's not a big deal, except it is a big deal because that could be enough to change the outcome of an election, especially when you're talking about these small town municipal elections. Like, for example, the story we're going to talk about here out of Frisco City, Alabama. Yeah, the mayor accused his opponent basically of cheating, right, to the point where it changed the outcome of the election. And now you have some soul sisters who have been charged with voter fraud. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the initial story that started the story that we're going to get into here.
Election headquarters, a legal challenge filed in a local mayoral race.
The incumbent isn't leaving office without a fight. WKRG News 5's Hannah O'Gara explains why he says the results don't add up.
Mayor Alan Lang of Frisco City, Alabama, believes an unfair election took place on August 26th. He's accusing Mayor-elect Brandon Love of corrupting absentee ballots to help him win. The results of the municipal election were certified September 6th. Love won the race with 255 votes to 165 for Lang. Of the 420 total votes, 156, or about 37%, were absentee, a percentage Lang calls a practical impossibility, citing records that show the highest percentage of any Alabama county last year was 14%. In his legal challenge, Lang accuses Love's campaign of ballot harvesting, distributing pre-filled out ballot applications to people who weren't authorized to vote absentee. 141 absentee votes went to Love, and Lang argues the vast majority of those were unlawful ballots. Lang believes he should have been re-elected and is asking a judge to order a new election. Love declined an interview, but in his legal responses to the complaint, he denied all allegations and demanded Lang show proof of his claims. In Frisco City, Hannah O'Gara, WKRG News 5.
So you seen that, you heard that. Now, lo and behold, we have some soul sisters who've been caught doing exactly what this mayor accused his opponent of doing, cheating, right? So let's go ahead and get into this.
First tonight, voter fraud allegations rocking a small town in South Alabama. 3 people arrested accused of filling out bogus absentee ballots.
That's a story we broke on all of our digital platforms this afternoon. Our Natalie Williamson has your late reporting from Frisco City in Monroe County.
Natalie, the accusations are related to last year's municipal election there.
That's right, Lenise and Cameron. The 3 women were arrested today for voter fraud in connection to the Frisco City municipal election last August. This big development follows a lawsuit that was filed, which also alleges wrongdoing in the August election.
Tonight, election cheating allegations in small-town Alabama. 3 women accused of rigging a bunch of absentee ballots. Court documents filed today in Monroe County reveal a grand jury indicted 67-year-old Sharon Denson, 46-year-old Samantha Kiles, and 59-year-old Sarah Bennett for illegally filling out and submitting ballots during the Frisco City municipal election in August of 2025. Those same records show Denson changed 7 people's ballots, Kiles altered 4 people's ballots, and Bennett changed 9 people's ballots. The criminal charges follow a civil lawsuit that was filed last September by former Frisco City Mayor Alan Lang, who lost the August election. In it, Lang is challenging the vote count, saying 131 illegal absentee ballots were counted, which changed the results. According to the lawsuit, 85 people falsely claimed they would work a 10-hour shift on Election Day to justify voting absentee. 33 people claimed they were physically disabled and couldn't vote in person, and at least 13 people who didn't live in the town voted. The Alabama AG's office says the 3 suspects arrested today are facing a total of 17 counts of ballot harvesting and 20 counts of unlawful use of an absentee ballot.
This case is being prosecuted by the Special Prosecution Division for the State Attorney General. In Frisco City, Natalie Williamson, Fox 10.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Now, is CNN going to cover this, right? Is MSDNC going to cover this? Is NBC going to cover it? Is the mainstream liberal media going to cover this and say, hey, you know, guys, voter fraud does occur. In fact, you know, voter fraud is a big deal because it can affect the outcome of an election. Now, in this situation right here, the mayor is claiming that, hey, there was enough fraud to affect the outcome of the election. Now, in regards to what happened with these individuals being charged, I'm not sure if the ballots that were affected by these individuals, right, these soul sisters, I'm not sure if it is enough to actually affect the outcome of the election. But regardless, the whole point is that, hey, it's a big deal, right? That it happens. It's more prevalent than these Democrats would like to admit. And this is why they're fighting tooth and nail against what's happening in Fulton County, right? They're fighting tooth and nail against transparency when it comes to how the 2020 election was conducted, right?
And more breaking news out of Fulton County. A federal judge is now ordering Fulton County and the federal government into mediation over election records seized in the FBI raid last month. You're looking at video from that January 28th raid. An order was signed yesterday, giving both sides until March 4th to agree on a mediator. If they can't, the court will appoint one. Mediation must wrap up by March 18th. The dispute centers centers on 2020 election records taken during the January raid. The county wants those records returned, arguing the seizure was unconstitutional. A hearing set for tomorrow has now been postponed while mediation moves forward.
What she was doing there? You saw her yourself?
Yes, I did.
Do you know what she was doing there?
I don't know why she was there.
Okay. Did the FBI tell you where they were taking the ballots or what they were going to do with them?
No.
Since the raid, have you received any information about how the ballots are being handled or what measures are in place to ensure that no one is tampering with those ballots?
No.
What types of sensitive voter data were contained in the boxes of ballots and other materials taken by the FBI?
The materials included were the actual ballots, recap sheets, results tapes, and absentee ballot envelopes that contained personally identifiable information.
Right. As a commissioner, as a servant of the people of Fulton County, are you concerned about what the administration will do with such sensitive data from Fulton County voters?
Yes.
Thank you so very much for your testimony. I have demanded an explanation from Pam Bondi about this raid. So far, I have not heard back from her. She has not offered one, but we'll keep demanding answers because if we don't stand up now, they won't stop with Fulton County. We saw this in Minneapolis, Minnesota, when Attorney General Bondi attempted to seize the state voters' roll in exchange for the withdrawal of ICE agents. They literally said, you want ICE out of your community? Hand over your voter rolls. Hand over your voter rolls if you want to end the occupation of your city. And I call it that because there are 600 police officers, over 3,000 federal agents. This is their project. They are already trying to cast doubt on the 2026 elections. Commissioner Ivory, what keeps you up at night when you think about the midterm elections, when you think about the seizing of voter rolls or voter records in Fulton County, a ransom note from the Attorney General to the people of Minneapolis? Does that bother you at all as you think about the midterm elections?
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing is a preview of what could happen nationally, which is attempted takeovers from multiple angles. I worry about the election workers who are everyday people coming to work to support their families and feel intimidated just going to work every day. The Fulton County Republican Party attempted to nominate 2 known election deniers to our Board of Registrations and Elections as a part of this. It's a complete movement. So what keeps me up at night is knowing that we in Fulton County are able and have secure, fair, and free elections. But voter suppression is a tactic that keeps people at home. And we have to fight to make sure that people know that their vote is important and that they have the right to exercise it.
Yeah, so again, my question is, if all of this is so rare, right? If it's just a right-wing conspiracy theory, right? Oh, they just want to suppress the vote. They just want to keep black people from voting. Everything is fair. It's all right, right? 100% correct. There's no fraud. It never happens. If all of this is true, what are they freaking out about? What are they freaking out about? Right? That's what I'm wondering. What are they trying to hide? Why are they trying to hide things? Why don't Democrats want to hand over their voter rolls? Right? If there are no illegals voting, why don't they want to hand over their voter rolls? Well, again, we should all know the answer to that just based off how they answer when confronted about this stuff.
Can you assure Michiganders that there are no longer any non-citizen voters on the voter roll?
We've actually done a lot, frankly, more than any other state to ensure we're driving down or increasing the security of our voter rolls. And you can go to our website and see everything we've done to ensure the accuracy of our list. And we've talked at length about that as well.
So are there any other non-citizen voters on the voter roll?
Well, it's certainly a priority of us to make sure we're consistently working to ensure the accuracy of our rolls. And I'm glad we've been recognized as one of the top 10 states in the country for doing that.
Yeah. No, they can't confirm that there are no non-citizens on voter rolls. They can't. They can't confirm. Why can't they confirm? They can't confirm because they know the truth, right? They know that there's some funny business going on. If there was no funny business, the answer to that question, no, they're not. Not to the best of our ability, right? But, you know, these people think they were stupid. They think they were stupid. But stories like this, the story that we talked about today, is an example of what I'm talking about. Stories that liberal media never covers, they never talk about, but yet they always claim that there's no evidence of voter fraud, it never happens, blah, 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 blah. But they ignore stuff like this because it doesn't fit the narrative. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.